Hello and welcome to EUTV Sports Update. We'll be looking at the latest sports news from Evangel University and around the region. I'm Cadence Washam.
We'll also look at college games across the nation and check out the latest happenings in professional sports. I'm Nathan Amati, and this is Sports Update on EUTV. So the NFL has been a very interesting experience up to this point. We see multiple people going and playing, going into the Super Bowl. What are some of the favorite teams that you've been able to see?
So my favorite game probably so far has been the 49ers and the Eagles.
Yes.
Yeah, so the 49ers had a rough little get there to begin with. Their quarterbacks, they basically have none at this point. So it's probably for the best they aren't going to the Super Bowl because they don't have any quarterbacks.
Correct. Yeah, the 49ers, sadly, since they're not going to the Super Bowl, then it's going to be kind of rough for them. But as the Eagles go up against the Kansas City Chiefs, it's going to be one exciting Super Bowl. Yes. Evangel Valor demolished the Culver Stockton Wildcats this last weekend. After the lead in the first quarter, the Wildcats lost the lead to Evangel Valor with a score 80-51. It was quite a victory for the Evangel team. Ed Reel, Martin Borough put up 18 points throughout the game and also got 7 rebounds. During the game, Evangel had 21-9 advantage in turnovers and led 39-34 in rebounds. Evangel rose to 19-5 overall and maintained second place in the Hart Conference with a 14-win-4-loss record. Way to go, Evangel Valor.
The Evangel Valor baseball team started their season strong when they took on Southwestern University this past weekend in a doubleheader sweep. In the first game on Sunday, Northwestern scored early to take the lead 1-0. Brendan Epsey was hit by a pitch, putting the Valor in a scoring position, and then Eli Cook hit a double, bringing him home. The rest of the game, the score bounced back and forth between the Mound Builders and the Valor. The Valor finished on top for Game 1 with a score of 5-2. In Game 2, Evangel led early with a 2-0 lead and kept the same momentum for the rest of the game, finishing the game with a score of 4-1, bringing the Valor a win. Between both pitchers, Vavaraska and Gardner on Sunday, there were only 4 hits given up. The Valor finished the weekend with a 4-game sweep of Southwestern. Evangel Women's basketball team had a nail-biting last-second buzzer beater against Culver Stockton Saturday in the Ashcroft Center. Evangel previously faced Culver Stockton, losing 72-57 in the conference opener. Saturday's meeting of the two was quite different and much more competitive. The Valor overcame an 18-point deficit going into the fourth quarter. Sophomore Micah Clayton became the star of the show, leading the Valor with a winning 3-point play, making both of her free throw shots with less than a second left, making the Valor take the lead for the first time in the whole game. Evangel's currently on a 4-game winning streak and looking to make it a 5th one once they play number 1 ranked Central Methodist this Wednesday on the road.
Evangel Valor men's and women's track team went up against the other NCAA D2 opponents this last Saturday. Several on the Evangel team placed in the top 10. Joshua Leisure completed this meet with 5th place in the triple jump. Liam Boyven also completed well this meet by getting a time of 8.54 seconds in the 60-meter hurdle in the qualifying and final score of 8.41 seconds in the final, placing him in 7th place. Within the women's distance team, Macy Kopp, Liberty Wiles, Emily Harris, and Skylar Adams finished with a speedy time, locking them to 6th place. Evangel Valor Track will return to Pittsburgh, Kansas on Saturday, February 11th to complete in the 8th annual Indoor Gorilla Classic.
Yeah, so we had some great wins and losses for both of our men's and women's basketball team. But
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just getting to see all the different games, people playing their hearts out. It was kind of crazy to hear about the different teams, the different moves.
Yeah.
Because you're saying like a buzzer beater for your team. Yes.
So the women's basketball, they were down the whole game basically, and just the last second they came back and won. So
Wow.
it's amazing.
Let's go, Valor.
Yes.
Coming up next, I'll be here with track and field coach. Coming up next, I'll be here with track and field head coach Brandon Staley.
And later, we'll look at some of the NFL playoff results and some big games from around the sports world. We'll be right back.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all working with United Way for a million little reasons. The kids of our communities. To ensure their academic success all the way to graduation day. You see, it takes about 12 years to create a graduate, but it takes the same time to create a dropout. And the difference between a kid becoming one or the other could be a professional athlete, or it could be you. Studies showed the earlier we get to kids, the better their chances. So become a United Way volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor, and make a difference in the life of a child, for the life of that child.
Give. Advocate.
Volunteer. Live United. Join your favorite NFL players. Take the pledge. Go to unitedway.org.
Lead paint poisoning affects 1 million children today. If you're pregnant or have young children and your home was built before 1978, you could be at risk. Learn how to protect your family. To find your home's danger zones, the health effects, or just to find help, log on to leadfreekids.org.
Welcome back. I'm here with head track and field coach Brandon Staley. Coach, thank you for being here with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So how has the track and field season been going for you so far?
It's been pretty good. We're 4 meets in now, and so into the indoor season. We've had a great season so far, full of a lot of great performances, a lot of Evangel records already being broke.
Yeah.
So it's been a really, really great season up to this point. We've got just a couple weeks left of the indoor season before we start getting ready for outdoor, but it's been great so far.
That's so cool. So what's a little bit of difference between what an indoor season looks like versus going like outside and doing meets like that?
Yeah, so there's quite a few event differences. We have a lot of different running events that take place during indoor instead of outdoor. We do events like the 600 and the 1K. The 3K, we do a lot of different things like that aren't necessarily in outdoor. And then you're also missing a lot of the throwing events that you can't do inside.
Yeah.
Right? We're not going to throw javelin indoors.
Yeah.
We're not going to throw discus indoors. We're not going to do those type of things. So we're missing a lot of those. And then the atmosphere is really just entirely different because it's so compact inside of one facility. The atmosphere is different. Everybody feels like they're right on top of each other, and it creates a really fun and competitive atmosphere. You get that in outdoor, but it really kind of amplifies it during the indoor season.
Now, as from a perspective of someone who's doing the sport, like a part of the sport, do you guys emphasize like going out and competing against yourself, or do you go out and compete against like a lot of the other students as well?
Yeah, so that kind of depends on the meet and location that we're at. We're always competing against ourselves. We're always trying to get better. We're always trying to be a better version of ourselves every single week.
Yeah.
But really, it also depends on the level of meet we go to. When we go to meets that are more our size with NAIA schools and things like that, we're out there to try to win, and we want to perform well.
Yes.
When we go to some meets like this last weekend, we ended up at 2 different locations, taking a small group of athletes. We went to 2 big Division II meets. There were several Division IIs, Division I AAs, JUCOs, things like that. And when we get to those situations, we're really more concerned about putting ourselves in the best position to see the best competition, to make ourselves the best version of ourselves that we can.
That is so cool. So how did you become a part of the Evangel track team as a coach?
So that kind of happened several years ago. I had been working here full-time coaching football. I was going to help out with track in the spring during outdoor. And then COVID kind of hit and ruined that a little bit, so we lost that season. But I had kind of filled in as an interim position very briefly for about 2 weeks before we all got sent home. And so then after that kind of 2-week stint, we went on break, and we're gone for a little while, and then had the opportunity to apply for the job, and just was able to. I was blessed with the opportunity to take over at that point.
Yeah.
And so it's turned into a really, really great opportunity and great position for me. So.
Wow. So this is relatively new to you, at least within the track and field.
Sort of, yes.
Yes.
The college track side, yeah. I've actually been coaching track since 2014 at the high school level. So,
that is so cool.
Yep. So I've been in the track world for a long time. Ran track since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
However old I was when I started then. So I've been around track a long time. And coached track a long time, but at the college level just for the last 3 years. So.
That is so cool. Do you have any players off the top of your head, people that are doing really, really well this season?
Yeah, there's a long list of them. I'll try not to go crazy, but I think the biggest thing to highlight is a lot of the freshmen that we have this year that have come in and really done well. You've got our returners that are doing well, like Liam and Delaney and those athletes there, but we've had several freshmen come in. We've got some distance girls that have come in, Macy Kopp, Emily Harris, and Danielle. They've all helped break several distance records already here at Evangel. We've got several jumpers that are doing well with JC Wilson and Lauren Davis are doing great. Alex Richardson is crushing the weight throw in a new record. We just have kind of records breaking left and right from freshmen, which has been a really awesome experience. So.
And then what do you foresee as these records are being broken by these freshmen? What do you foresee for Evangel as the students continue to progress and get better?
Yeah, we are in a really, really great position right now. The men's side will perform well at conference. We expect to kind of be creeping into that top 5 at conference, which would be a great opportunity for us. The women's side, the numbers aren't quite there to get into top 5 yet, but talent-wise is there, and we will have several athletes compete at a really high level, and next year we'll be right there competing for a conference championship next year on the women's side.
Wow. So. Well, that's so cool, and we're going to love to be able to report on that and just kind of see as you guys progress and grow, like how this is going to be beneficial. Yeah. I'm just so excited about that. Are there any sports like within the track and field, any one of like the running or like the jumping or like the handoff? Which one do you prefer, I guess, if that makes sense, or something that you get very excited about when you see it?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a little biased. I coach hurdles, and that's my top event. That's what I love doing. I've worked on those in the high jump, and so as the hurdle coach, I'm a little biased to that event most of the time. But the 4x4 is always fun. It's always exciting. It's always a great atmosphere. Everybody's excited for it. It doesn't matter if you throw, if you run a 5K, or if you run, a 100-meter hurdle, jump, whatever. Everybody's excited for the 4x4, and so it's always a fun time whenever you're at a meet like that.
Man, that is so cool. And when is the next meet that is going to be happening for you guys?
Yeah, so we'll take a small squad up to Pitt State this weekend, and so that happens Friday and Saturday. It's a pretty big meet, so we'll be a little bit more limited on who we're taking with us. And then a week after that, we've got conference, so that's to cap off our indoor season.
That is honestly so amazing. Getting to hear that and get to see what you guys already have planned ahead, and we're for that. Yep. Thank you for being with us today, Coach. Coming up, we'll look up at the NFL playoff results at the latest in the NBA and NHL. Stay tuned.
Nice. Yes, go! Yes! No! Come on! Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
In 1977, in Johannesburg, South Africa, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. By the age of 9, he was already outplaying him. The odds of this gentle lad winning the Junior World Golf Championships at the age of 14, 1 in 16 million. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the Open Championship once and the US Open Championship twice, 1 in 780 million. The odds of this professional golfer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. Ernie Els encourages you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
In women's college basketball, the South Carolina Gamecocks went up against the UConn Huskies Sunday the 5th. For the first 3 quarters, the Huskies were in the lead, but during the mid of the third and end of the fourth quarter, they lost to the Gamecocks 81-77. Aaliyah Boston scored 26 points and 11 rebounds for the Gamecocks. Aaliyah Edwards scored 25 points for the Huskies. Looking at the rebounds, the Gamecocks only had 6 rebounds and the Huskies had 13 rebounds in the game.
In Vegas this past weekend, coaches and siblings Eli Manning, NFC, and Peyton Manning, AFC, pitted their star-studded squads against each other in the 2023 NFL Pro Bowl. This year, however, came with a slight change. Instead of playing the usual tackle football game between the AFC and NFC, they opted for a safer version this season. Flag football. Even with flags, the players complained about the refs. Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill called out the lack of calls on Sunday afternoon. This is supposed to be a flag, meanwhile I'm getting depleted. Talking about a play where he got slammed out of bounds by Los Angeles Rams cornerback Jalen Ramsey. This shows the athlete's competitive nature and how competitive all the games were this weekend. From kick-tack-toe to dodgeball, each winner of the mini games gets points for their respective conference, and it came down to the wire in the third flag football game. Kirk Cousins ultimately led the comeback for the NFC, winning 35-33, bringing home pride and $84,000 for the NFC. Another top 10 matchup in the Big 12 occurred in Manhattan, Kansas, Saturday night at the 7th-ranked Texas Longhorns visited the 10th-ranked Kansas State Wildcats. This was the second time these two teams played each other this season, as the Wildcats ran away with a 116-103 victory in Austin, so you could expect Texas to come out angry after losing at home. However, that was not the case. Playing in the arena many called the Octagon of Doom, the Wildcats took a commanding halftime lead of 35-26, where they were up by as many points as 14. But the Longhorns made sure not to go out without a fight. Immediately starting the second half, they went on a 17-4 run within the first 5 minutes, trimming the Wildcats' lead to only 1. That early run seemed to stun Kansas State as they could not pull out the victory, letting the Longhorns escape with a victory of 69-63. The win keeps the Longhorns atop the Big 12 standings, 1 game away from the Iowa State Cyclones. A loss drops the Wildcats to 3rd, but in a 4-way tie because of a league record. Both schedules do not get any easier in the Big 12 basketball schedule.
The Clippers went up against the Knicks this last Saturday, February 4th. It was an intense game that went neck and neck throughout the quarters. During the fourth quarter, Nicholas Batum of the Clippers sunk a 3-pointer at the buzzer and was going off that forced the game into overtime. Even then, both teams gave it their all, to which the Clippers won. Kawhi Leonard scored a resounding 35 points for the Clippers. and Jalen Brunson put 41 points on the board for the Knits. Both teams ended up with 46 rebounds. Yeah, the NFL Pro Bowl, South Carolina. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so they changed all the Pro Bowl rules, making it flag football, which is a lot different than what it has previously been. But I feel like they still got just about the same viewers. I think people just wanted to see what was happening, you know, the difference between them all.
And I like how they also had like prizes for the people, so they had more of an incentive to play.
Yeah.
That is really, really cool.
When we come back, we'll have the EUTV Player of the Week. We'll also have your upcoming Evangel games this week. We'll be right back.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until there's
No secret that laughter makes you smile.
Reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this dangerous, but it will be safe for them until they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
I did. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Did you know that strollers have the right of way on the sidewalk?
Yes.
Yep, I did. Did you guys
Did you know that kids who eat breakfast have higher GPAs?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. That's actually what I was going to say.
Did you know babies should never touch silver? It's really bad for them.
I knew that.
Did you guys know that statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
I'm putting that on my blog.
I just put it in mine.
It's time now for the EUTV Sports Player of the Week.
This week's EUTV Sports Player of the Week is Eli Cook. Eli had a great game for the Valor baseball team this past weekend. Eli managed to score 2 singles, 1 double, and 1 triple hit, as well as hitting for 1 home run to make him 5 for 7 on the day. Congratulations to Eli. And now let's go to the upcoming games of the week. Track and field, Saturday, February 11th, Gorilla Indoor Classic at Pittsburgh State, Kansas. Time to be determined.
Baseball, Friday, February 10th, 12 p.m. versus Presentation at home. They also play Saturday, February 11th at 12 versus Presentation at home.
And for women's softball, the game is going to be Wednesday, February 8th at 1 p.m. There's also going to be another game on February 8th, also at 1 p.m. One of them is happening in Kansas City versus Ava, and the other one is going up also in Kansas City versus St. Mary.
Up next, we have men's tennis. They play Saturday, February 19th at 1 p.m. versus Missouri Valley at Cooper Tennis Complex.
And then for women's tennis, we have 2 games, one happening Friday, February 10th versus the Truman State, and then one other game on Saturday, February 19th against Missouri Valley at Cooper Tennis Complex.
And for men's basketball, they play Wednesday, February 8th at 7:30 versus Central Methodist at Central Methodist. And they also play Saturday, February 11th at 2 p.m. versus Grandview at home.
And then for women's basketball, it's going to be a game on Wednesday, February 8th, 5:30 versus Central Methodist at Central Methodist. And also another game on Saturday, February 4th at 2 p.m. versus Grandview at home.
Go Evangel Valor. We have so many opportunities to go see some men's and women's basketball. It's one of your last opportunities this week. So
yeah, one of the last games for basketball. Yeah. That is such a monumental thing.
It is.
We had such a good season,
it is.
Honestly.
And it's right here on campus too, so definitely go out if you haven't had the chance yet.
Yes, and there's also some other games that will be going on, like we were saying before, different tennis games and stuff like that, and also the track and field as well. And so if you haven't gone to a game yet, just
softball and baseball play also, so make sure you go cheer on our Valor sports this weekend.
That is correct, Let's go Valor. Well, that's all the time we have for today's Sports Update. I'm Nathan Amati.
And I'm Cadence Washam. Be sure to join us next week as we bring you the latest in sports news. For more information on Evangel Sports, go to evangelathletics.com. This has been Sports Update on EUTV.